So the Baltimore Ravens are able to chill at 31st overall and get Jayson Oweh after getting Rashad Bateman. That's a huge win for them because Oweh, as we saw at the Combine, or his pro day, excuse me, at Penn State's pro day, he's just an athletic monster. He has all the physical traits you need to develop into a great edge rusher. The problem, production really hasn't been there in both years, past 2 years. He had not a great number of sacks, but a passable number of sacks in 2019, but was awful against the run this past season. Absolutely no sacks, but acceptable run defense. So he's been up and down, a little bit of an inconsistent player. We don't really know what he's going to be in the NFL. He's an athletic edge rusher right now, but he's totally a developmental prospect. Has not many moves in his arsenal right now, not many counters. Really need to work on building him up, almost from the ground up, actually, in Baltimore. But they've done this before. They've taken guys who are developmental edge rushers and turned them into Pro Bowlers. Zadarius Smith, Matt Judon. There are players who just thrive within Baltimore's defensive scheme because you're working a lot of blitzes, you get a lot of pressures. Oweh, I'm sure from his spot, we'll see a lot of action this year, or at least in the future, where he will get a lot of pressures, get a lot of sacks. And, of course, Baltimore desperately needed a guy like him after losing Matt Judon and Ngakwe in free agency. So now you bring in this athletic monster in Jayson Oweh, who was basically testing in the up 90th percentile for almost everything at his pro day. Put him in a unit that thrives at creating guys like him, thrives like building guys like him up into star players. I'm sure we'll see some great things from Jayson Oweh moving forward. But for now, you have to be a little bit hesitant of this pick because you don't know how much of an immediate impact player he's going to be. For all the things I've said about the scheme helping him out and all that stuff, you still need to develop this guy. He might be a player who doesn't hit his prime or doesn't begin getting close to his prime for 2 or 3 years. Does it help you if you're Baltimore when you consider the fact that you're going to have to give Lamar Jackson a contract extension, then the money and salary cap and everything just becomes so much more confusing after that? No, it doesn't necessarily help you right away in that sense. So it's a little bit of an up and down pick here. I mean, in terms of just, you're not going to find another guy athletically like him at 31 in the draft, but at the same time, like I said, not necessarily an immediate impact player for Baltimore.